you all ready for Christmas? Everybody got your Christmas cards and letters out? No? Okay. Well, I started this weekend since Santa's left the building for a moment. I'll read you my letter to Santa to make sure it's all right. You can tell me if you think I'm fast. Dear Santa, all I want for Christmas this year is a fat bank account and a thin body. Please don't confuse them like we all want something different for Christmas, don't we? Well, I want 4 words of Advent. That's what I really want for Christmas. You know, Advent has 4 words that represent 4 themes, and they're so overused and misunderstood, they almost sound namby-pamby, but they're words of power. Words like hope, which is that place of vision where you imagine something, you see it, and you know it can happen. And word like peace, which is your place of power. When you're centered in peace, you're centered in that awareness of that union and connection with the all that is one. And then today's word is love, which is the creative power of the universe, the stuff we are made of. Nothing mamby-pamby about that, is there? But I think the most underrated and worst quote about love I've ever heard, I don't know where they came up with this. You remember in 1970, the movie Love Story? Oh, yeah. Remember the quote all together now? Love is never having to say you're sorry. Where did they come up with that? What were they thinking? Come on. Charles Fillmore said, love is the glue of the universe that joins and binds in divine harmony the universe and everything in it. In other words, it's like super glue. You know, whatever we give love to joins and binds the very substance around us so that we can manifest on earth as it is in heaven, the realm of divine ideas. Whatever we give love to expands and binds into form. So I want to share you one of the times in my life when I made this happen. I actually formed something out of the universe, and it's a silly little story of something small that I manifested. I have manifested much more bigger things since then, but you can use a small example to manifest whatever it is you desire in your life. I mean, I manifested Tennessee, didn't I? By giving love to the idea of being in Tennessee. So, but my story is way back when I was raising my kids, and they were really young, and we didn't have much money. And I was told at Christmas time we didn't have enough money to buy a Christmas tree. Well, I could not accept that. I am a Christmas fiend, and I love Christmas. I had to have a Christmas tree. And I kept giving love to the idea that we would have a Christmas tree somewhere, somehow. And I prayed about it and then kind of let it go. Meanwhile, my mother came over one day and picked me up. She had to go to the hardware store, asked if I'd go with her. So I went with my mother to the hardware store. And there they had artificial Christmas trees. And you know, do you remember when they had gold bond stamps? Anybody remember what gold bond stamps? And you saved all your books? Well, this hardware store actually redeemed gold bond stamps. So I got back in the car, tore home, opened my gold bond stamp drawer, counted I had 3 books of gold bond stamps. I took them back to the hardware store. And I had just enough for one of the smaller trees, but they really were kind of scrawny looking and not that pretty. And I was looking around, and I looked up above the front door, way up on a high shelf. There was a beautiful Christmas tree. And I said to the lady in the store, how many books would it take for that Christmas tree? And she looked at it, and she said, well, I don't know, I've never noticed that one before. And she looked all around and got a ladder and climbed up above the door to find this Christmas tree. Couldn't find a box, couldn't find anything that said how much it was. So she said, well, you can have it for the same amount as the smaller tree. And that was the prettiest little Christmas tree I've ever had. And I really believe I did manifest that tree by giving love to the idea of a Christmas tree. I shaped the very substance around Lake City, Minnesota, to manifest that little tree. And I know that's a silly little example, But whether it's manifesting a Christmas tree or manifesting Tennessee or whatever it is in our life, if we give love to a divine idea that is in harmony with our purpose in this lifetime, we can do that. One of my favorite authors is Glenda Green, who wrote Love Without End. She was an artist who actually saw Jesus and talked to him and painted a picture of him. But while they were having a discussion one day, he said to her, "You must put love behind your thoughts to make them work." In other words, you can't just have the thought of something or speak the word. You have to put love behind it until you understand that any structure can be rearranged by love. And you can never understand how I, meaning Jesus, multiplied the loaves of the fishes and healed the sick. If you would multiply anything, all you need to do is to take one part or sample and love it enough. That's why every Sunday at the end of the service, our chaplains come up and they bless the love offering with love. What you bless increases. So if you have an idea and you love it, it has the power to manifest. If you love a person, you can bring forth healing light in that person. That's how I've held onto Michael for so many years through his heart surgeries and strokes. That love. Well, I did have a few come to Jesus talks with God, but that's Repeat with me if you're comfortable. I am the power of love to heal. Together. I am the power of love to heal. Love is the creative power of the universe. And if God is love, and we are extensions of love, then we too are love with that creative power. You know, in Scripture it says, "Don't you know ye are gods?" That doesn't mean I'm a God, come worship me. That means we're extensions of love itself. Don't you know you are love? Again, one more time, I am the power of love to heal. Together, I am the power of love to heal. Or you could say, I am the power of love to prosper. Or I am the power of love, which is strength. Whatever, fill in the blank. This is an earth school. And we're born into the world as an expression of love. But in the world of duality, the world of opposites, where there is love, there is also times when there is no love that we feel. And so we face our issues of love. Here we are, love itself, coming into the world, and often experience that feeling of lovelessness. And then those wounds come. But in our woundedness, we are forced to find the love within ourselves. And we go around searching for love in all the wrong places, because it can feel like love abandoned us. But how can love abandon us when love is who we are, what we are, and we live, move, and have our being in it? So we're like fish swimming around looking for water, looking for love in all the wrong places. And now I understand, I grew up with stories of the saints. The more outlandish the story, the more powerful the saint. And we heard stories of saints who didn't eat. They lived on nothing but communion wafers. And I thought, how that would last 5 minutes? How could that be? But Jesus had the same story in Scriptures. He and the apostles were out one day, and they'd had a long day. And finally the apostles came up to him and said, "Jesus, are you hungry?" I'm sure they didn't care so much that he was hungry, but they were hungry and wanted food, right? And he looked at them and he said, "I have food that you don't know about. I have food you don't know about." And that was confusing to them. They hadn't passed any McDonald's in a few miles. They didn't know what food he had gotten. But Jesus knew the stuff he was made of. He knew his union with love itself, and that the power of the universe moved in and through him. So as we read the Christmas story, we find that love draws all that is needed to each one in the Christmas story. Love drew Mary to the manger, a quiet place to give birth. And I know the story sounds funny. Why would not love take them to the Best Western down the road? But back then you have to realize hotels were not nice places like they are now. You had many kind of travelers Some were good, some weren't. They were thieves, they were crooks, they were noisy people, it was dirty. It was not a nice place to stay like our hotels are now. So drawing her to the manger was like saying, that's too noisy. To come to this quiet place to have your child. And metaphysically, of course, we take that, what is that in me? Love takes us to the manger of our heart, draws us to that quiet place where we can feel that renewing power, that healing power that feeds us in the manger within our heart. Love drew the shepherds to the Christ child. The angel said to the shepherd, go to the city of David, which was Bethlehem, but they said city of David. Metaphysically, Bethlehem means peace, and David metaphysically stands for love. So go to that place of love and peace. That's where you give birth to that inner Christ in you. And divine love is constantly drawing us to our highest good. No matter what, our life journey is going up the spiral, more and more being drawn to our highest good. So no matter what is before us every day, no matter what it is, we're being drawn there for a reason. Always to a higher place. Now try it again this time. See if we can get up a little higher until we're birthed out of the top of the spiral as the Christ within ourselves. And in the story, love had to draw the Christ child to safety. There were terrorists back then too, and King Herod was sent to kill all the babies. Remember that horrible story where he had been told that there was a Messiah to be born. And that was threatening to the Herod. So he set out to kill all the babies. Well, that's an easy one metaphysically. What is Herod in me? My ego. My ego sets out to kill love, which is all the fear-based thoughts of separation thinking that we all have. Kills that presence of love in us. And so love warned Joseph and Mary, take the baby to Egypt where it'll be safe. We trust those inner promptings. Do this, go there, say this. Love guides us to where we need to be constantly, up the spiral of love. Catherine Ponder, in her book, The Prospering Power of Love, said, whatever problem you have, call on divine love. There is no greater healing power than divine love. So if you repeat a few prayers with me, what if we're praying for someone else? It's as simple as saying, divine love does its perfect work in and through them now. Together, divine love does its perfect work in and through them now. And you can substitute words. Divine love heals them, prospers them, guides them, strengthens them, moves in and through them now. How about praying for yourself? Repeat after me. Divine love now draws to me all that would heal me, bless me, or prosper me. Together. Divine love now draws to me all that would heal me, bless me, prosper me. Simple as that. For the church, I hope you all pray for the church every week. Divine love flows through Unity Church of the Cumberlands with the prospering power of love moving in and through all. And notice in that prayer, we don't have to tell love how to do it. Nowhere in that prayer do we tell love how to do it. Love just always draws us higher and higher up the spiral. Today in the world, there's a lot of loveless, fear-based separation thinking. But divine love is the only real protection in that. The Course of Miracles reminds us only the love of God will protect you in all circumstances. That's a pretty powerful statement. Only the power of love will protect you in all circumstances. It will lift you up out of every trial and rise you high above the perceived dangers of this world into a climate of perfect peace and safety. It will transport you into a state of mind that nothing can threaten, nothing can disturb, and where nothing can intrude upon the eternal calm of the Son of God. Wow. So how do we make that practical? How can we put that to a practical use. Well, if we are love, first we have to get in touch with our issues around love. Everybody has issues around love. And I love, like in the movie Moonstruck, one of my favorite movies, where Cher slaps Nicolas Cage on the face and says, "Get over it." That's what we have to do with our issues around love. Get over it. All that fear-based separation thinking. And give love to the ideas of love. Give love to everything you want to bless in your world and increase with gratitude. That's how we expand that. And then we use our Advent themes. We use hope to envision that expanded love. We stand in the place of peace, our place of power, to tap into that ocean of love inside us that guides and directs us. Love draws to you and binds into form, just like my Christmas tree, all that you would give love to. There's nothing mamby-pamby about that, about those words. Let's take them into prayer. Words like hope, words like peace, words like love. As they sink down from our head to our heart, and just allow them to take root, strengthening the hope for a better world, strengthening the peace, knowing it's here right now, all the power to manifest on earth as it is in heaven, manifesting the love that is constantly flowing in and through us. I am the power to heal. I am the power to prosper. I am the power to strengthen my body temple. And we see it for ourselves, we see it for each other, we see it for this church. And we simply say, thank you, God, and so it is, so it truly is. Amen.
Amen.
Let's continue this morning's celebration by standing and singing together hymn number 283, Love Came Down at Christmas. It's very short, so we're going to sing both verses today. 283.